My grandmother was half ethnically Jewish. She converted to Catholicism because she wasn't a witch. Do not ever say my father's Jewish again. My father's done some bad stuff in his life, but he was never a Jew. Keep that out of your mouth, little man.
I'm not doing this. And then they all like, oh, look, you're covering up from Israel. No, I'm about what people do, like Martin Luther King said.
Okay, listen, what happened was one of his callers called while I was guest hosting and said, Alex will never address Israel ever. You're the man, Owen. We listen to you. Will you talk about Israel? I said, yeah, we shouldn't have, 80 Congress people have dual citizenship. That's what he's referring to. Hitler was a great leader. He wasn't a good person. But man, could he lead. And he knew what the Jews were up to.
They stand for. There are leftist Jews, there are right-wing Jews, there are Christian Jews, there are Orthodox.
There literally isn't Christian Jews, Alex, you drunk. You sweaty little fat drunk.
Jews. There are atheist Jews.
No, there isn't. You can't be an atheist Jew. A Jew is a religion. If you don't believe in God, you can't be Jewish. Unless you literally just think Jewish is an obsession with money, which it is, kind of, I guess.
There's serial killer Jews. There's fire department hero Jews.
No, there's literally not one Jewish firefighter.
I'm sick of Jew.
Because like when they took down the towers, the Jews, they probably alerted all the firefighters like, hey boys, stay home today. And everyone was like, wait a minute, there's no Jewish firefighters. And they're like, run into the buildings.
But again, we're the ones everyone knows that are against racism and anti-Semitism.
You're not against racism, Alex.
So it's perfect.
There's no one more racist than Jews. Israel is an apartheid race-based state. It's based on the seed of Abraham. If you are the reason that you can be a Christian Jew and an atheist Jew is because, according to you, it's not an ideology, it's not a religion, it's a genetic marker. So you are a racist. You stupid little troll, you sweaty boner pill salesman, cuck, faggot.
That David Duke and all these other guys, they're still up, but not us.
I got to look into this David Duke character. I always thought that he was a bad dude, but everybody I hate seems to also hate David Duke. Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know.
And they can ban me off Instagram, Millie. It's going to be Jones banned for anti-Semitism.
And that's exactly.
You're not anti-Semite. Actually, you are, because you hate Arabs. You support a bunch of wars where America killed 1 million Iraqis because little chicken hawks like Ben Shapiro wanted it.
A bunch of these other far right racist groups.
Far right isn't racist. Far right, actual right wing is God, family, nation. That's all it is. There's no racism. What's racism is Israel. You have to have genetics to be a citizen.
Actually, many of these racist groups, like the KKK, most of them are actually dead.
KKK were a bunch of patriots. Alex Jones is a loser.
Presidential election. I mean,
he told me once he beat a guy to death. He's like that guy that said that he has like a girlfriend in Canada. You've been stealing from us the whole time, and they're like, I mean, you're anti-Semitism, and they're like, no, we're homeless. There's no Jewish trailer parks. Some people have one leg from fighting wars for Israel, and they won't even have the decency to say it's for Israel. And so then everyone just starts kicking them out of their countries. They've been kicked out of 109 countries, and they act like that's because of something called anti-Semitism and not horrible behavior. Alex Jones, you little shill. Man, I think they have sexual deviancy on them. And this is cathartic for people. I get so many cool emails from people that have been like fired for a joke. And they're like, I love watching your stream, bro. I love it. Gives me hope. Some people have literally told me that they were going to blow their brains out because the world's gotten so cold and weak. Because Alex Jones, people that they actually want to believe in, these people, they're like, the frogs are turning gay. And they're like, oh, finally someone's saying something. And then they're like, it wasn't Israel. And buy boner pills. No! People need to be told what's real or else they're going to blow their brains out. So this is why no one lets me on their podcast, by the way. Because if you're just honest, people spiral. Like, because Bert used to be funny. He really did. He used to be like a good dude.
My wife said, is the N-word for women? And I said, no, you're wrong. Slut is. I go, because when...
What's the N-word, Bert? Just say the word nigger. You made everyone say it in their head.
The N-word dehumanizes someone. That's why that no one wants to. That's why I won't say it, because I don't want anyone to ever feel dehumanized.
Because you're a good boy, Bert. That's why you don't say it, because you don't want to dehumanize people. You're one of the good boys. See, this is the thing. I don't change from stream to real life, and everyone knows that, and that's why people won't let me on. Watch this. I don't play their games.
I don't want anyone to ever feel dehumanized.
I do. I do, though. Some people are acting inhuman, and I want them to know it. That's serious.
I heard an argument for that going, yeah, when I'm really mad, I want them to feel the worst they've ever felt.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I use that word?
Why wouldn't I use all my assets?
Why would I hold back?
It's like if someone's attacking me and I have a gun, why would I punch them? I would shoot them in the head.
Warning, the following story contains a semi-famous person saying things about women that TMZ in no way endorses. So please, girls, don't kill us. Having said that, it's time for Let's Talk Ladies with comedian Owen Benjamin.
Do you think that women make better leaders than men?
No, I think men make better leaders than women.
You do?
Yeah, totally.
I think it was Moses who said, he called it neshit in Hebrew. It means the snake bite. That's what usury is. Debt, giving loans. Compound interest took down the Habsburg Empire. Even with all their gold mines, 6% compound interest took them all down. The snake bite. It starts small and then grows and takes down a nation. We're $22 trillion in debt right now. Pope Gregory I. Well, Tacitus said that, Jews dominated the slave trade in the Roman Empire. They replaced, chattel slavery with usury, with debt slavery, which is what we all have now, mostly in student loans. It's one reason why I never respected CRTV is the guy got rich off student debt. That's where all that money came from. I always thought that was kind of weird. But so Pope Gregory I, he's getting to the bottom of all this. And so the Ashkenazi Jews, a lot of them were Roman. It's not the seed of Abraham. That's all nonsense, right? The Sephardic Jews are actually more Semitic than the Ashkenazi. Those guys were former slaves taken from Italy, taken from conquered provinces. And when the Jew would own the slave would then become a Jew when they were freed in the Middle Ages. So the Ashkenazi aren't Jew, like they aren't ethnic Semites. They were slaves. Very interesting stuff, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro says he's 100% Ashkenazi. So he's, this pure-blooded, Aryan Jew or whatever. No, he's a former slave. The real Jews, like my friend Olev or my friend Avi Yamini, those guys are legit Jews. The Sephardic Ashkenazis were slaves. That's why they don't look anything like the real Semitic, the Semites. The Middle Eastern Jews. They're treated like slaves in Israel in a lot of ways. Like they're given different ranks and stuff in the army. But the Ashkenazi are it's a scam. They're not anything. And I'm part Ashkenazi, quote unquote. That means I'm part Italian. Apparently I was once a slave. The thing was, marriage is homosexual. Abortion is life. Feminine. It's all just upside down. Upside down. Mr. Logue. Someone said, Owen, it's over. No, it's never over, baby. In fact, we're just getting started. Synagogue of Satan. The Torah Jews. The Talmud permits everything the Torah forbids. The Talmud is like Vegas. What happens in the Talmud stays in the Talmud. Hours and hours and hours I study this stuff. I listen to rabbis, as I'm digging holes, making my orchard. The Talmud is the upside down of the Torah. The Talmud is a fake religion started after these idiots burned down their own temple in 70 AD. The Torah is great. Torah Jews, strong, good morality. The Talmud is an endless argument where they debate everything to the point where they end up with nothing, and all they want to do is make boys girls and girls boys. It's madness. And by the way, you don't get to determine God's will. That's why I love Goldstein. Goldstein has great morals. Great morals. You know, everything's under God's providence. I learn a lot from Goldstein. I really do. And I'm not being sarcastic at all. Like, if this is what's happening, it's still God's will. That's a Torah Jew. That's a good-hearted Jew right there. Then you get into the Talmud Jews. And then you get into the Kabbalah Jews and the Zohar Jews. And those guys are retarded. Kabbalah Jews are evil? Yeah, they're magicians. Torah Jews, like Goldstein, are solid. I just don't want them in our Congress. I don't want to fight their wars. I don't want to watch their pornos. And I don't want to take their opium. The whole point of comedy is to be in the deep end. So when people say, I see why Crowder doesn't, I'm not a attack dog. I'm not a politician. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not a corporate stooge. I'm not a guy trying to get a plane. I'm a dude in my backyard making... So true, Owen, you're probably the only real comedian left. One of the only. You know, Norm Macdonald's up there until I saw him on The View apologize to a den of vipers. Tell a bunch of that he's sorry. I mean, I don't know. I still like him, but you'll never see me do that. Never in a million years. It's like when a Jew goes against money or sodomy. You know, it's like it goes against the whole thing. Let's watch... let's review again. So here's Larry David urinating on Christ, right? Yeah, let's watch this again. So that's what the Jew finds funny, right? Hang on, my thing just froze. But so Jews think it's really funny to urinate on Jesus Christ. And I'm fine with it. Listen, you do you. That's what you do. So I thought, I want to bond with Jews. As a comedian, I want to push the edge too, just like Larry David. So I thought, what is the Jews' Jesus? You guess, no, not sodomy. It's close. Money. So here we go.
Preview. Preview.
You guys get it. So anyway, I was talking about how Alex Jones's grandfather invented the homosexual dumpster pump with rollerblades. And I should have screenshotted the comment, but this guy he wrote this really long thing about how, he used to be a fan and, I burn all my bridges and, I have to get my emotions under control. And he says, he says, just because Alex Jones's grandfather had some quirks. Guys, he was dead serious. He wrote this much words. Okay. He thought, guys, okay, this guy, and he was defending him. He was like, just because Alex's grandfather had some quirks, just because he was eccentric,